So setup in the short game is key to helping find success for landing the club in the same spot over and over. So what I have here on the ground is a T-square, one for target line, one at 90 degrees for ball position, and I have 5 golf balls out in front of it. One way forwards, one way backwards, one in the middle is where I put this golf ball closest to me, right in front of the T-square. Now I'm just going to take this alignment rod, put it out here in front of us, nice and vertical. So if you're filming from face on, it's good to have a reference mark. You can even draw a line if you have a program to draw lines on it, or you can just use the visual of the alignment rod out in front of you. So if I'm set up here with my feet pretty narrow, maybe a club head width between the heels relative to the stick between my feet, toes flare just a little bit. So the outside golf balls of this 5-ball row is more on the big toe. That way we're not going to get in here too big, and if you want to, you can even get in here and almost touch the heels together, like you can fit a golf ball between there. So if I have a narrow stance, the ball, it's hard to get it way forwards in the stance or way back in the stance. If I have a wide stance, now it's pretty easy to move a ball way back in the stance and then move a ball way up in the stance. So narrowish stance, we're going to start out with the ball in the middle of that narrowish stance, toes slightly flared. Now with the vertical stick in the ground, that's given us a reference mark of where my sternum is to relative to where my belt buckle is. A lot of players like to get set in here and they've been taught to push the handle forwards and get weight on the left foot so I can pick up my right foot in this situation. But the issue with that is now my chest is back behind the golf ball. Even though I have my hands pushed forwards, that might get a golf club to zip in too fast, or do I have to pick it up from that position? It's going to move the circle back behind the golf ball. Or if we want to set up 50-50, if you want to be a little bit more pressure on the left side, taking your lead hand, your left hand on your thigh, can you just slide it down slightly on the thigh? What that's going to feel like is the shirt buttons move a little bit in front of the belt buckle, and now I can still pick up that right foot from this position. So relative to the vertical line, I'm just going to move my nose, my shirt buttons just slightly to the left of the stick in between my feet. So now my weight or my pressure is a little bit more on the left side. Does that allow us now to land the club a little bit more forwards? In the swing, if we need to move it a little bit more forwards as well, with that vertical stick, even as we swing it back in the backswing, we might move just slightly forwards of the stick. So now my nose feels like it's a little bit more in front of the golf ball. So as the club falls, it's going to fall more around the golf ball or up on these 3 front golf balls. If we get set up too far behind with hip forwards, it's going to be hard to land it up in front of that golf ball. So keep an eye on your setup as you're walking in there, setting the club if you want to set the club first, but then can we get set into a position where we're pretty balanced? Maybe I'm taking that lead hand, left hand, and just kind of feel like it slides a little bit down the leg, and then go ahead and take your grip. Now as the club swings up and down, it's going to make it easier to land the club more in that front section.